In this video, I'm going to explain the driver for the packet generator IP, and I'm going to highlight what changes we have done to the original driver to suit our custom HLS IP. So the first step is to import default IP class from the PYNQ library. Any IP driver that we make has to inherit the default IP class. So the first function is the constructor or the init initialization function. This calls the constructor of the parent class. So whenever we create an object of a class in Python, the first function that it calls is the constructor or the initialization function. So bind to is a keyword in PYNQ, and when we make a driver class, we need to specify which all IPs this driver class can control. So for our custom IP, what we do is we have to add the VLNV of our custom IP to this list to tell the driver that it can control this IP. So VLNV means vendor, library, name and version. Here we can see vendor xilinx.com, library IP, name packet generator and version 1.0. Now where can we find this VLNV? We need to go to our block design. We can right click on packet generator, go to block properties, and in the properties tab we can see the VLNV here. So we can copy this value and put it in this list. The next attribute is the packet size attribute. So we define a getter and a setter for it. The read and write functions are from the pynq.mmio library, and these are used to read and write to specific addresses inside the design. So we just have to pass it the offset value in the getter. We can read the value which is stored at this offset. In the setter, we pass it the offset value and what value we want to write to that address. So in the original IP, there is a limit that the packet size has to be between 2 and 4096. Otherwise, it is going to raise an error. However, in our IP, we can use our packet generator IP to transmit a packet of any size. Also, for this offset value, in the original IP it is 0x00, but in our case it is 0x10. To find this offset value, we need to go back to our HLS design for packet generator IP. Here in the solution folder, we can go to the implementation folder, MISC, drivers, source. This file xpgen hardwarehandoff.h. This contains the register offset values. We can see the entire register map. So here 0x10 is the packet size and 0x00 is the enable signal. The 0th bit is the AP start signal and the 7th bit is the auto restart signal. So we need to change the offset value for a custom IP. So the next attribute in the original IP was transfer. Its name was transfer, but it was basically an enable signal. So we in our custom driver, we have changed the name to enable, because we will see later that there is another file called hierarchies.py, and in that file there is a function called transfer. So to avoid the confusion between transfer and enable, we have changed the name to enable. So this was basically the getter and setter. The offset was defined as 0x04 and this was used to write the enable value. Like you can switch on the IP or we can switch off the IP. So when we switch the IP on, it basically transmits packet size number of packets and then we can switch the IP off. In our custom design, we have a name for this register called registermap.control.ap start. So for the getter, we just return the value that is stored at this address. And in the setter, we first have to set the auto restart bit to 1 and then the AP start bit to 1. In the original design, this register is a 32-bit value because we write an int value to it. But in our design, this is just 1 bit. We can see that here, that the AP start bit is just 1 bit. It is it is the 0th bit. And auto restart is also 1 bit. It is the 7th bit of this offset. So the main functionality of the packet generator driver is in another file called hierarchies.py. So in hierarchies.py, we have a class called the ADC channel class. So we saw in our block design that the main function of our ADC channel is to collect data from the RFDC IP and send it to the PS through a DMA. Right, so the main functionality is in the ADC channel class instead of the packet generator because we need to access the DMA also. So here in the ADC channel class, we have a transfer function and this function basically configures the packet generator IP to do a data transfer, and then it configures the DMA to receive that data and then send it to the PS. In this function, the first step is to define a variable called transfer size, which is packet size divided by 8. This is because we consider the sample size of one sample as 16 bits. But at a time, the packet generator receives 128 bits of data. And out of those, only 16 bits are one sample. So we get 8 samples in every clock cycle. So if we configure our packet generator IP to give us 256 samples, those samples are of 16 bits each. And we know that in one clock cycle, packet generator receives 8 samples, which is 128 bits of data. So the number of transfers that we need to do is the packet size divided by 8. So we define something called a transfer size, which is packet size divided by 8. Then it checks that the maximum value of transfer size has to be between 4096 and 2. This limit is not there in our custom IP, so we remove this condition. Next, it sets the packet size attribute of the packet generator driver as transfer size. It allocates a buffer for the number of samples that we want to transmit, and the size of each sample is 16 bits. After that, it starts the DMA transfer and then it turns on the packet generator IP. So we do the exact same thing, but in our case, the name of the attribute is enable and we set it to true. Then the wait command for DMA, and then we switch the IP off. We can print the values of these buffers for debugging purposes. Then the received data we multiply it by 2 raised to the power minus 15. This is because the data that we receive is a 16-bit value and it is a fixed point value. But we want to convert it back to a floating point value in the range of minus 1 to 1. So we multiply it by a scaling factor. Next, we can free the buffer. Then we define a C data list. This takes the real data list, it casts it to the data type double, and it takes the imaginary data list and casts it to the data type double, and then it adds these two to form one data sample and then returns this list. So basically this casting is redundant. When we multiply all the values of buffer real by the scaling factor, it automatically casts it to float 64 or double data type. It implicitly casts them, but we can do it explicitly also to make sure that this casting happens correctly, and then we return this list. So that's it. That's the functioning of the packet generator driver and the ADC channel driver.